Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle review of House of Hammer, The Collection. This is an illustrated film adaptations by the masters of the art, and it's got Brian Bolland, John Bolton, David Lloyd, and many others in this. And it's by Dez Skinn and friends. Dez Skinn, of course, a legend in UK comics. Quality. Now, I'm not actually certain when this book came out, so don't hold me on that one. Now, I paid about £50, I think, approximately, a couple of months ago, and this book, hardback, really good. Now, I don't know if it's readily available, probably hard to get. I looked online for a couple of copies, couldn't find any information about it at all, so maybe it just pops up every once in a while. On the back, you can see, obviously, all lovely covers there, 24 issues there, though apparently there's only 23 actually done, but also there's 18 stories and all 18 film adaptations in this, our most requested collection for over 40 years. Beautiful, beautiful book. So let's just go through it. Now, I would love to see more film adaptations, and I was trying to think of a few. Maybe there's lots. Please put in the comments below if you can think of any recent comic book film adaptations. Things like Hunger Games, Divergent, all those sorts of things. You think, surely some Twilight. Maybe there have been adaptations of those, but there's not that many adaptations of films. This one, of course, is back in the 70s and 60s. There were quite a lot. There was Dell, obviously. This one, I'm just going to point it out. Not that one. That's actually a magazine. But King Kong Giant Classic. Now, it came from, I don't know, who was that by? I think it's probably a World Distributors Annual one. So that's quite a nice one. But Dell, like I say, lots of others. Logan's Run comes to mind. But this is the actual original comic. Now, I'm just going to put two so you can see the size compared with the actual original comic. Now, it doesn't include everything, because you've got the story here of, well, you've got lots of great little articles in here and letters and things and stuff. But you've got the Vampire Circus. And I bought it, obviously, that's Lala Ward on the front, sort of. I guess it looks like Lala Ward. But it also, this one also includes some additional stuff as well. Van Helsing's Terror Tales. Now, they're not collected. So they're not collected in here. So let's just go through the book. Really love that. Now, I never bought any of those issues. For some weird reason, I don't think they turned up in my town. They might have been in one of the newsagents. I don't know, because I never saw them. I mean, obviously it was Marvel Comics, obviously Vampirella, all those sort of things, DC Comics, Charlton Comics, but not that one for some weird reason. But this was about 76, 77, that sort of time, 78. Well, one thing it does mention here, which is quite nice, talks about the Devil a Daughter. Weirdly, it says talking about, obviously, to hype up the boost sales by featuring, but that one, weirdly, is not in here. There is no Devil a Daughter in here. I actually didn't mind that film. It was fine. It was not terrible. But it's got Prince of Darkness, Plague of Zombies, and many others. Also, it's signed. I love that. I mean, that is just so great. I really love that sort of great personal touch. I think it's lovely. And you can see the covers again, black and white. And here's the contents. And it's a lovely glossy paper, real quality, quite a hefty tome. It really is nice. And I must admit, I didn't know anything about it. I think I saw it on Facebook. Someone mentioned it on Facebook, one of these sort of EC ones or something like that. And they said, blah, 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 about that. I thought, ooh, I've never heard of that. So I went and quickly checked and got a copy. Horror of Dracula, Curse of Frankenstein, Golden Vampires, obviously Legend of, Moon 02. I would love to see that. It's one of those films that I've never seen. I don't even know if DVDs, but I think there's a Region 1 DVD. Why it's never been released on Blu-ray is baffling. Why it hasn't turned up on Talking Pictures yet, or Rewind TV, or Legend Extra. Those sort of ones. Dracula, Prince of Darkness, Twins of Evil. Now, they're all fairly short. They're not particularly super long. You can see 120, 136, so there's probably about 14, 15 pages from them. But some great art like John Bolton and others. And you've got their Quatermass Experiment. Love that film. Curse of the Werewolf, the Gorgon. Many of them I've got on Blu-ray. Good films. Plague of the Zombies. I don't think I've got that on Blu-ray. Don't know if it's available yet. 1 million years BC. Now, I've been watching lots of Witchfinder General, those sort of things. Obviously, that's a Tygon film, but it would have been lovely if they'd done adaptations of those. That would have been brilliant. Still, you've also got The Mummy Shroud, Vampire Circus, or of course the Plans of Vampires, which I'm looking forward to the Blu-ray release of. The Reptile, Captain Kronos. Just got the Blu-ray for that one. Never seen it. Looking forward to it. This should be good. The Mummy, Quatermass 2, and The Brides of Dracula. Of course, there's many other films they could have done. Pirates of Blood River. They could have adapted that. That would have been good. And I love these great sections. Says Dez, edited recollection. That's dotted all the way through the book, and it's just great. All the comments, all the various. It's a real sort of interesting look into that sort of 1970s comics. Dracula really looks good. Now it's got, obviously, that's not the poster, but it's obviously looking that sort of thing. But there you got part 1, and then there's a part 2, obviously. That would be very helpful, wouldn't it? But the artwork, I think, is absolutely fine. I mean, it's not superb. It's not my favourite artist. I don't know who the artist is, but it's certainly not. But the curse spreads, as always with these vampire things. You can't. And of course, there's good old The Final Chase, part 3 there. And on to the next one, The Curse of Frankenstein, chapter 1 again. Now they split them up. Of course, they would have a section, and then they would have sort of some loads of photos and things. Like I said, in this really good magazine, I loved all the, obviously, the fairgrounds of horror and things. Better not show that picture. That's a pretty gruesome picture there. The Castle of Living Dead, and that one's Michael Reeves. Apparently, Witchfinder General. He mentions Witchfinder General. The Conqueror Worm. Oh. Prowse looks a bit different from there, doesn't he? David Prowse doesn't look like David Prowse at all. I always wondered why they did that. Maybe they couldn't get the rights. But certain characters did look like the characters, the actors, but others didn't. And the story is quite different at times. You think, oh, yes, I remember the bits. There's bits like it, but at the same time, there's bits that don't really match. So so obviously things were chopped out for various reasons. Obviously to speed the story up a bit. And you've got The Curse of Frankenstein there again, in conclusion. That's quite really lovely sort of comic strips all the way through. I just love adaptions like this. I wish they would do adaptions of lots of films. It's just Legend of the Golden Vampires. I guess the reason being, nowadays everyone's got them on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, etc. Back in the 70s, of course, once a film came out, it might turn up again at the cinema, I suppose. It would, it's possible. You'd have to go and see it. Maybe a specialist cinema, maybe the BFI or something. You go and see that. But, it's hard to see these films. Obviously, people probably had Super 8, which I never had films on Super 8. I had projector and everything. I filmed things. But we never had bought films in. So it's all those sorts of things. And you can see that story there, the 7 Golden Vampires. And this one, some Moon 02. There's Moon 02. Now, like I say, why hasn't this been released? It's weird. I just really would love to see that. James Olsen's in it. I guess James Olsen. And also you can see a little bit more there. Now they could have done, of course, adaptions of like all the TV series. Space 1999, which I'm thoroughly enjoying at the moment, watching those on Blu-ray. And also, of course, Star Trek. They did photo novels. I don't think there were comic adaptions of the actual TV episodes. Dracula, Prince of Darkness. And again, he's got all those details there. Obviously, Christopher Lee, Barbara Shelley, etc., etc. And then on to the lovely bit of pencil work there. The Twins of Evil. That was good. One uses a beauty for love. One uses a lure for blood. Okay. Burn, Witch, Burn. I wonder why they did that, because that was, of course, the earlier title. Very unusual. But Twins of Evil. And quite a mass experiment. Pretty good as well. And on to the next one, which is The Curse of the Werewolf. So there's lots of great stories. The Plague of the Zombies. Again, let's say some really great artwork. And of course, there's the poster there. And also, of course, the good old Judge Dredd. I love that one. Of course, that's just come out. Brian Bolland. Brilliant masterpiece edition. Absolutely superb. Just great artwork there. And on to 1 million years BC. And again, you've got the posters and some variations of the posters as well. And of course, the original magazine there, which I think is just lovely. I think that's some great artwork, that one. That really, really, really good. That looks like Bernie Wrightson, to be honest. Probably isn't Bernie Wrightson, but it still at times looks like Bernie Wrightson. And then you've got that mummy one there. Quite a few mummy ones. The Vampire Circus, which of course is this one. You can see there, obviously, in black and white. I say they don't really... Now, Lynn Fredericks, for some weird reason, doesn't seem to turn up, particularly in this, which is odd. But still, pretty gruesome there. Obviously, the vampire there. And on to the next one. This one is Captain Kronos and so on. You can see this is a really lovely book, and it goes all the way through. Online, you can find, obviously, more information. There's lots of sources. And obviously, you can always go and pick up copies of this. because there's lots of on eBay, reasonably priced, £4 or £5, that sort of price, maybe a bit more, a bit less. So they can be picked up, but I think it's just lovely having a huge, lovely volume like this. And you can see it's a sizable, chunky, quality edition all the way around. I think that's absolutely great. Really pleased I picked this up because, like I say, don't have copies available, readily available. I don't know. So certainly have a look for it. Are you thinking about getting this? Did you ever like film adaptations? Do you ever think there's any real point for film adaptations now? Probably not, maybe, like I say, because you can get all the stuff on all the various discs and things. It's so easy to see all the stuff now. Why would people enjoy a film adaptation? But I still enjoyed them. Still, even though you could see them at the cinema, you could still see the film adaptation and things like Planet of the Apes, of course. I mean, they're just great now. They're still great to read. Slightly different from the original, of course, but still good to see. Now, this one, House of Hammer, the collection, brilliant volume. Dez Skinn. I don't know where actually I found this. Must have been, I think it was eBay. I can't remember. Could have been on Amazon, but eBay somewhere. But obviously, you'll have to quickly go and look on. It's got a website, Dez Skinn. Is it dezskinn.com? I think it's somewhere in front. Probably mentions dezskinn.com. Probably saying completely wrong website. There's obviously some more details there about there's Dez Skinn there, but you obviously can find his website fairly easily and find out a little bit more about this brilliant book.